My name is Didier William. I'm standing in the exhibition, What the Body Carries. The title of the show points to the idea that specifically with narratives of immigration, the body becomes an archive. The body sort of traces movement and traces the act of travel, either willfully or not. And that residual remains. It extends beyond the body, beyond the singular. And I think in my case, what we find is that there becomes a porous relationship between the subjectivity imaged and signified by the body and the spaces, geographies, and contexts that the body is in. I'm very much interested in thinking about the residuals of subjectivity, family history, ancestry, national identity, and how it sort of plays out on the painting surface. So in my paintings you'll find collage, you'll find carving, you'll find traditional painting techniques, and eyes gouged into the surfaces of my figures to create a sort of exoskeleton that the bodies are cloaked in, that are creating a sort of circuitry of looking between them and the viewer. This painting is called Cyclone, and if you're familiar with the Caribbean or even with South Florida for that matter, hurricanes are pervasive in that part of the world. And I wanted to think about the storm, the sort of tempestuous energy of the storm moving through this field of bodies. There's a mango leaf pattern in the background, and we grew up with a lot of trees in our backyard in Miami. And so you'll find these patterns in my paintings quite often, whether they be mangoes or avocados or papaya. Whenever you see these sort of fruit patterns, that's usually what they're signifying. And then at the time I was interested in these kind of classic Baroque skies, these dark dramatic skies, painted in oil and a sort of soft edge that the figure is also enveloped within. Going back to the earlier point about these larger than life figures that almost compete with the atmosphere that they're in. I always make the cooking analogy when I'm thinking about and making paintings, and in that way it's infinitely remixable, right? It just gets broken down and reassembled. In some ways, I think that has been influenced by the eyes. The eyes started as a kind of a modular system of building the body up and breaking it down. And now that same modular logic has now been applied to every part of the picture plane, not just the body, but the atmosphere, the geography, the architecture. Everything has become part of this kind of amoebic modular system that I can break up and put back together.